Seraphina's arch-rival, Alpha King Nikolai Blackthorn, and she got married 6 months ago. Her intended mate was stolen by his childhood love at their bonding ceremony. Nikolai stepped forward and claimed her as his Luna, saving her from becoming the laughingstock of the entire werewolf realm. After the ceremony, Nikolai and Seraphina have been living separate lives in Blackthorn Manor, careful not to cross paths. The evening shadows stretch across Seraphina's private chambers. She stands behind a silk screen, changing. The heavy oak door suddenly swings open. "What is it? Who told you to enter without knocking?" Seraphina's voice cuts through the quiet. Nikolai stands in the doorway, his eyes fixed on her silhouette behind the screen. "Nikolai, where are you looking?" "I'm looking at something exquisite," he says, his voice low. "You insufferable beast. Lady Seraphina Blackthorn, don't forget I am your alpha. Your husband. What's wrong with me looking at you? We are mates by arrangement only." She stepped from behind the screen, fully dressed in a Victorian gown, her chin lifted defiantly. "Wait. Come here and help me up. I twisted my ankle." "What, you're not afraid of me looking anymore?" "Can't you just close your eyes?" "What a hassle," Nikolai mutters, but he moves toward her. This sound of snarling wolves echoes through the darkness. Claws slash, bodies collide. Then silence. Seraphina runs through the trees, her heart pounding. "Nikolai, Nikolai, Nikolai." She drops to her knees beside where he lies unconscious on the blood-stained ground, her hands trembling as she checks for injuries. Sunlight filters through heavy velvet curtains. The bedchamber is silent except for the crackling fireplace. Nikolai's eyes flutter open, confusion clouding his features. Why is Seraphina dressed like that and standing before me? Am I dreaming? "Nikolai, are you all right? Does your head still hurt? Should I summon Dr. Webb?" Seraphina moves closer, concern etched on her face. She touches his forehead to check for fever. Nikolai grasps her wrist, his grip firm. The touch feels so real. Am I not dreaming? He sits up abruptly, his eyes narrowing as realization or confusion sets in. "Seraphina, you took a mate? Have you lost your senses? Which reckless fool would bond with a wild she-wolf like you?" "Yes, he was quite reckless," Seraphina replies carefully. "Seraphina, you're already mated, yet you're standing before me, dressed like this, in my chambers. Have you no shame?" Seraphina takes a calculated risk, her voice softening. "Nick, darling, you forgot. You are now my secret lover." Nikolai's face goes pale. "I'm the other man?" The study smells of herbs and old leather. Medical instruments line the shelves. Dr. Webb adjusts his spectacles, his expression grave. There is a small blood clot in the Alpha King's brain. It's not life-threatening, but it is pressing on a nerve, which caused His Majesty's temporary amnesia. "How long until he recovers?" Seraphina asks, her hands clasped tightly in her lap. "That varies from wolf to wolf. Some recover in a few days, while others never do. However, His Majesty only cannot remember events from the past year. It doesn't affect his daily functions, so I don't recommend excessive medical intervention." Seraphina thinks to herself. Doesn't affect his life much? He just became a secret rogue lover out of nowhere. "Thank you, Dr. Webb," she says aloud. The carriage rocks gently along the cobblestone road. The interior is cramped, forcing them close together. "Drop me at my lodgings first," Nikolai says. "Nick, don't push your luck. Do you want me to personally escort you back to your alpha husband? Am I supposed to be this pathetic as the secret lover?" "Am I amusing to you?" His voice softens, vulnerability creeping in. "No. Who do you think your husband is? Who else but that pompous Beta Lord Vincent Haverford?" Flashback, the abandoned bonding ceremony, 6 months prior. The grand hall is decorated with white roses and silver ribbons. Guests fill the pews, murmuring among themselves. Seraphina stands at the altar in her bonding gown, her hands shaking. Vincent approaches, his face torn with conflict. "Vincent, are you truly going to abandon me?" "I'm sorry." His voice is barely a whisper. He tones and walks away. The guests erupt in whispers. Seraphina's face burns with humiliation, her eyes stinging with unshed tears. Nikolai's voice cuts through the crowd like a blade. "My deepest apologies to all the guests, but today's ceremony will proceed differently. Lady Seraphina, I will claim you as my Luna. He steps forward through the stunned crowd, his hand extended toward her. The memory fades. Seraphina blinks, returning to the present moment inside the rocking carriage. Don't dwell on the past. There are plenty of worthy males in the realm, Nikolai says gently. Seraphina carefully plants the narrative. Nick, didn't you say you loved me deeply? How could you tire of me right after we began our arrangement? Your devotion is certainly fleeting. I would never. Nikolai's voice is defensive, confused. Take me back to the Ashford family estate. If you don't want to, I can arrange my own transport. Who said I didn't want to? They arrive to chaos. The drawing room is in disarray. Voices are raised. Uncle Wilson looms over Lady Catherine Ashford, papers clutched in his meaty fist. Sign this share authorization agreement, whether you want to or not, today. Lady Catherine's hands tremble. These are my husband's shares. He's still in the hospital wing, gravely injured. I cannot sign this. What's going on? You don't even greet your uncle. Bursting in like that, you have no manners. Wilson snarls as Seraphina enters. Manners? What are manners? Acting like a vulture over an injured man. Seraphina fires back. You, for your father's sake, I won't argue with a whelp. Now tell your mother to sign the proxy agreement immediately. These are my father's pack shares. What gives you the right? Because I am the rightful heir to the Ashford territory. Your father is incapacitated, and he has no son. These shares rightfully belong to me. What century are we living in? Are you trying to exploit a family tragedy for gain? Are you a relic from the medieval packs? Wilson advances menacingly, his face red with rage. He grabs Seraphina's arm roughly, his grip bruising. Let go of me. Seraphina struggles against him. Nikolai's voice drops to a lethal alpha growl that makes everyone in the room freeze. Try touching her again. His eyes flash gold, Wolf rising to the surface despite his amnesia. You left your gloves in the carriage, Seraphina manages to say. Thank you. Nikolai never takes his eyes off Wilson. He steps between them, every inch the predator, despite not remembering he's an Alpha King. The air crackles with dominance. If you dare lay a finger on Seraphina again, I will make you regret the day you were born into this pack. Now get out. Wilson backs away, his face pale, recognizing the dominant wolf presence even if he doesn't understand why this rogue commands such power. This isn't over. Wait, I'm leaving with you, Seraphina announces. She turns to her mother. Mother, no matter how much Wilson pressures you, you absolutely must not sign that document. Don't worry about the pack shares. I've got this handled. Nick and I are leaving now. Send word if anything happens. The carriage pulls away from the manor. Through the window, the estate grows smaller. Nick, thank you so much just now. If it weren't for you, I don't know what kind of violence Uncle Wilson would have unleashed, Seraphina says softly. It was nothing. Just protecting what's mine. Nikolai catches himself. What I care about. Lady Catherine stands at the window, watching them leave. She murmurs to herself, Seraphina, Nikolai has done so much for you. You should treat him better. The moon rises outside the carriage window, casting silver light across the countryside. Nikolai's thoughts race. So the fact that I'm a secret lover to Seraphina is something even her mother accepts. But why do I feel this overwhelming need to protect her? Why does my wolf recognize her scent as home? He glances at Seraphina, sitting across from him, moonlight filtering through the carriage window and illuminating her profile. What am I to you, really, Seraphina? He asks quietly. Back at Blackthorn Manor, the morning sun streams through the grand windows. Nikolai follows Seraphina like a shadow as she moves through the drawing room. His behavior is completely transformed. No longer the cold, distant alpha, but an anxious lover desperate for reassurance. Seraphina, when can I see you again? Your husband, he won't suspect, will he? Seraphina settles into her favorite chair, a small smile playing at her lips. Nick, darling, from now on you'll call me my darling at all times. Do you understand? Yes, my darling, Nikolai says immediately, his voice soft with devotion. And I require embraces, frequently, at least once every hour, to feel secure in our arrangement. Nikolai's face lights up. He moves toward her, pulling her gently into his arms. Like this, my darling? Seraphina's breath catches. This is the first time in 6 months of marriage that he's held her. The warmth of his embrace, the steady beat of his heart, it's everything she pretended not to want. Yes, exactly like this. The head housekeeper, Mrs. Thornbury, passes by and freezes at the sight. The Alpha King, wrapped around his wife, looking at her with absolute adoration. She hurries away, bewildered. What else do you need, my darling? Nikolai asks against her hair. I'm yours to command. Seraphina closes her eyes, letting herself enjoy this impossible moment. Everything, Nick. I need everything. Throughout the manor over the following days. Various rooms and moments. Nick, brush my hair. Nikolai sits behind Seraphina at her vanity, carefully running the silver brush through her dark locks. His touch is reverent, gentle. Is this pressure acceptable, my darling? Perfect, she murmurs. Later in the library. Read to me. Something romantic. Nikolai settles beside her on the settee, opening a volume of poetry. His deep voice fills the quiet space, reading verses about forbidden love and longing. Seraphina watches his profile, the way his lips form each word. In the garden at twilight. Walk with me. Hold my hand. Nikolai intertwines their fingers immediately, his thumb stroking across her knuckles. The moon is rising, my darling. You look beautiful in this light. The staff whispers among themselves. The Alpha King has been completely transformed. He waits on Lady Seraphina, follows her everywhere, and gazes at her with such open affection it's almost scandalous. My darling, it's been 53 minutes since I last held you, Nikolai said suddenly at dinner. May I embrace you now? Seraphina laughs, actually laughs for the first time in months. You're counting every minute without touching you. Feel it like eternity. She stands, and he pulls her close immediately, burying his face in her neck. For 6 months, she lived as a ghost in this manner. Now, she finally feels alive. The breakfast room. Morning light filters through lace curtains. Seraphina mentions casually, the Alpha King, my husband, returns from London tonight. Nikolai's fork clatters against his plate. His eyes flash gold, wolf rising to the surface. That brute is coming back? Nick, careful. No, he stands abruptly, pacing like a caged animal. I won't be careful. How can you bear being married to him? From what you've told me, he's cold, arrogant, treats you like property rather than a cherished mate. It's complicated. What's complicated? Nikolai's voice drops to a possessive growl. You deserve someone who worships you, my darling. Someone who sees how extraordinary you are. Someone like... He stops himself, fists clenched. You should be with me. Seraphina's heart races. This jealousy, it's directed at himself, at who he truly is. Nick, we've discussed this. I'm bound by duty. Duty, he spits the word. What about happiness? What about love? He kneels before her chair, taking her hands desperately. Leave him. Come away with me. I don't care about pack politics or territories. I just want you. His wolf recognizes her as his mate. Even without memory, the bond calls to him. It's not that simple, she whispers, though her resolve wavers. Then make it simple. Choose me. A society ball at the neighboring Haverford estate. Crystal chandeliers cast prismatic light. Lord Vincent Haverford watches from across the ballroom as Seraphina enters, with a man Vincent doesn't recognize. The stranger's hand rests possessively at Seraphina's lower back, and she's smiling. Actually smiling. Vincent's beta instincts flare with territorial rage. He abandoned her, yes, that she was supposed to remain humiliated, isolated, not happy. He approaches, his smile predatory. Lady Blackthorn, how unexpected to see you here. Lord Haverford, Seraphina's voice is ice. And who is your companion? Vincent's eyes rake over Nikolai with disdain. A friend, Seraphina answers quickly, but Nikolai steps forward, his presence commanding despite believing himself a mere rogue. Her devoted friend. And you are? The man she was supposed to marry. Vincent's smile sharpens before circumstances changed. The tension crackles between them. Nikolai's wolf recognizes a threat, a rival. How fortunate for her that circumstances changed, Nikolai says coolly. She deserves far better than someone who would abandon her. Vincent's face darkens. Careful, stranger. You don't know who you're speaking to. I know exactly what I'm speaking to. A coward. Later, Vincent corners his beta companion. Find out everything about that man with Seraphina, and prepare the silver glades. The manor gardens. Moonless night. Mist creeps across the grounds. Seraphina walks alone, needing air after the ball. Vincent steps from the shadows, silver dagger gleaming. You humiliated me, Seraphina. Made me look weak when you married the Alpha King. I humiliated you? You abandoned me at our bonding ceremony. And now you parade around with some rogue lover? You've become shameless. He advances, blade raised. If I can't have you, no one will. Before she can scream, a savage growl erupts from the darkness. Nikolai launches himself between them, partially transformed. Claws extended, fangs bare, eyes blazing gold. The fight is brutal. Despite believing himself a simple rogue, Nikolai fights with alpha ferocity. His wolf knows, protect mate, defend, destroy threat. Vincent slashes with the silver blade, catching Nikolai's shoulder. He doesn't even flinch. He grabs Vincent by the throat, slamming him against a tree. You will never touch her again, Nikolai snarls, his voice barely human. She is mine. Vincent flees, wounded and terrified. Nikolai turns, chest heaving, blood dripping from his shoulder. My darling, are you hurt? Seraphina stares at him, tears streaming. His love isn't memory, it's instinct. It's real. The next morning, Nikolai's bedchamber. Dr. Webb tends his wounds. The violence, the extreme emotion, the surge of protective instinct, it triggers something in Nikolai's brain. The blood clot shifts. Memories slam back like a tidal wave. The wedding, the contract, 6 months of cold distance, his decision to maintain separation, his buried feelings he refused to acknowledge. Everything. When his eyes open, they're different. Sharp, calculating, the Alpha King has returned. Dr. Webb backs away instinctively. Your Majesty? Nikolai sits up slowly, testing the memory. It's all there, including the past week. Everything Seraphina made him do. Every my darling, every embrace, every desperate declaration. His jaw clenches. Where is my wife? In the drawing room, Your Majesty. Nikolai stands, ignoring the pain in his shoulder. He finds Seraphina arranging flowers, humming softly. She looks happy, content. So, he says, voice cold as winter, did you enjoy your little game, Lady Blackthorn? She spins around, the color draining from her face. She sees it immediately. Her husband is back. Nick is gone. Making a fool of your Alpha King. Quite the entertainment. The confrontation escalates. The drawing room vibrates with tension. You manipulated me. You used my condition for your own purposes. It wasn't amusement. Seraphina's voice breaks. You have no idea what these past 6 months were like. Being invisible in my own home. Living beside a husband who couldn't even look at me. So you chose revenge instead. I chose to finally feel something, to matter to someone, even if I had to lie to make it happen. A loud crash interrupts them as the window shatters. Ensign storms in with 3 beta wolves at his back, weapons glinting in the light. How touching. Vincent sneers. Now it ends. Chaos erupts. Nikolai, still injured, steps forward without hesitation, fighting with raw determination, but he's outnumbered. Vincent lunges toward Nikolai. Seraphina reacts on instinct. She moves between them. Pain rips through her shoulder as she falls back with a sharp gasp. Everything freezes. A furious roar shakes the manor. Nikolai's control snaps. His transformation is sudden and overwhelming. Power surging through him as his wolf takes over completely. He drives Vincent's pack back with terrifying force. Pure instinct guiding him. Protect, defend, survive. When Vincent tries to escape, Nikolai stops him cold, gripping him with deadly calm. You touched what's mine. The words are rough, almost unrecognizable. Vincent retreats in terror, the warning unmistakable. Then Nikolai is suddenly human again, kneeling beside Seraphina, gathering her carefully into his arms. His hands tremble as he holds her close. Don't do this, he whispers, his voice breaking. Don't leave me. I can't. I won't survive without you. Days later, Seraphina wakes in their shared bedchamber, no longer separate rooms. Nikolai sits beside her bed, haggard and exhausted. He hasn't left her side. I'm not angry, he says before she can speak. I should be, but I'm not. He takes her hand carefully, mindfully of her bandaged shoulder. You were right. I was a coward. I married you to save you, then abandoned you emotionally because I was afraid. Afraid of what? Of this. Of feeling this much for someone. His thumb strokes across her knuckles. My wolf knew from the beginning. Even when my mind forgot everything, my wolf remembered you. Recognized you as my true mate. Tears slip down Seraphina's cheeks. Nikolai, I want you, Seraphina. Not as a contract. Not as an alliance. As my mate, my Luna, my wife in truth. For life. His voice roughens with emotion. If you'll have me. Yes, she whispers. Yes, I'll have you. He leans down, kissing her gently, reverently, like she's precious, irreplaceable. When he pulls back, Seraphina takes a shaky breath. There's something else you should know. What is it? Nikolai, I'm carrying your heir, our pup. The Alpha King, notorious for his control, his coldness, breaks completely. His eyes fill with tears, his face transforming with joy. A pup? His hand moves to her stomach, protective and tender. We're having a pup? Yes. He kisses her again, deeper this time, pouring everything he couldn't say before into that single moment. When they part, he rests his fair head against hers. I love you, Seraphina, my darling. She laughs through her tears. I love you too, my Nick. Outside their window, the full moon rises. 2 wolves, finally complete.
If alpha intensity, soulmate sparks, and thrilling wolf world secrets are your jam, subscribe now so you don't miss it. Fresh episodes drop every day, and the twists will have you hooked from the first howl.